Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you about a couple of things in this video, but I will be taking most of the time to speak about this attack that we had from Yemen on Israel. It was a record-breaking attack. I'm going to start off with some of the statistics. Firstly, we had a confirmation from Yemen that they launched a hypersonic missile. They did not name this missile. They previously launched missiles on Israel. One of them is called Tufan, one of them is called Hatim. This one, they said that it was a hypersonic missile that has been modified, but they did not say the name of that missile. Some people came up with certain names, but that's not very accurate because Ansarullah in Yemen did not specify the name. So what happened exactly with this attack? Well, firstly, this missile is a record-breaking missile because it passed over 2,000 kilometers to reach Israel, which is the longest range missile landing on Israel. We previously had in the early 90s, in particular in the first Gulf War, Saddam Hussein launched Scud missiles on Israel that had a range of approximately 1,200 kilometers that landed successfully, and the Patriot systems had difficulty in intercepting them at the time. Then we had Iran launching hypersonic missiles. Those had a range of 1,700 kilometers. Now we have Yemen, and with Saddam it was a ballistic missile, the Scud, by the way. Now we had Yemen, you're talking about 2,000 kilometers. This is an extremely long range, and it only reached the destination in approximately 11 minutes, meaning that the missile had a speed of over 8 times the speed of sound, approximately 10 to 11,000 kilometers per hour. Now, this missile was not intercepted. It was not intercepted by the air defense systems of all of the countries that helped Israel when they intercepted some of the Iranian attack back in April, and Israel failed in intercepting them. What does that mean? Well, to understand that, we need to understand where the missile came from. Well, it came from Yemen, and according to reports in Israel, it landed through the Israeli airspace from the eastern borders, meaning it had to go through over Saudi Arabia and potentially Jordan at the time. So, does that mean that these countries allowed it to go over their airspace? No. Why? Because it's a hypersonic missile, and if it's above the airspace, that means it's in no country's airspace. It doesn't belong to kind of any country. You're talking about outer space here, and then the missile lands on its designated target. That's number one. Number two, a modified missile that no defense system intercepted, including the Israeli defense system. So Israel has the Iron Dome, which is usually used for short-range missiles. It has David's Sling, which is more for medium-range missiles, and it has Arrow 3. And Arrow 3 uses missiles that are hypersonic and exoatmospheric, meaning they can intercept missiles in space. So even those missiles, these systems, they could not intercept the missile that came from Yemen, from Ansarullah. And you're talking about a system, especially with Arrow 3, every missile costs 2 to 3 million US dollars. And they failed even with that. Okay, what does that mean? That means that Ansarullah are studying Israel, and we had confirmations from them that we are testing and we are modifying our arsenal and studying the occupation's air defense systems. One very important observation here is that Ansarullah in Yemen did not say that this is the response for the attack on Al-Hudaydah, meaning this is just another attack. This is not a response for the Israeli attack on Al-Hudaydah. This is just another attack. That could be a move coming from Ansarullah to test the capabilities of the air defense systems when it comes to Israel, and of course every country supporting Israel when it comes to air defense, for a potential response or response to the specific attack that we had on Al-Hudaydah. That's assuming they want to have this attack by air and not by land, although we had confirmation previously from Abdul Malik al-Houthi, the leader of Ansarullah, saying that we will surprise them by land like we surprised them in the sea. Why did the arrow system fail when it comes to the interception? One of the key things that are being reported is the fact that the arrow system has a maximum speed of 5 times the speed of sound. And when we compare that to over 8 times the speed of sound, that means you could have a problem when it comes to the interception. That's only when it comes to the speed. Of course, the Yemenis could be modifying other aspects of the missile that could make it more difficult to intercept and detect. In Israel, they came up with so many excuses. Firstly, they said, well, we knew the missile was coming, but there was a certain problem. Then we had a report saying that we intercepted the missile, we intercepted the body of the missile, but the head of the missile eventually landed. The fact of the matter is Israel failed because the missile landed, and it landed approximately 6 kilometers away from Ben Gurion Airport and just around 11 kilometers away from Tel Aviv. That's in the heart of Israel. This is an extremely important development, especially and primarily with the fact that Ansarullah said that this is just an attack, it's not the response. Israel is also threatening now. Netanyahu is saying they haven't learned that we will be retaliating, and lots of threats coming from Israel. That came simultaneously with another attack that wasn't reported heavily, which was from Iraq, the Iraqi resistance. They said that they targeted a strategic location in Haifa. They did not specify what they used, they did not specify that location, and we had no elaboration from Israel, which is not surprising. This is again showing that we have a coordination between Yemen and Iraq. This is not the first time. They've had coordinated attacks on Israel several times, and it's showing that these two fronts are deciding to attack Israel simultaneously for some reason, whether it's related to the air defense systems, the testing capabilities, or the fact that they see that it's suitable for them to attack at the same time or conduct operations against Israel simultaneously. These were the first two things that I wanted to talk to you about. Important and dangerous developments, especially after the reports that we had yesterday that there are thousands, to say the least, of Yemeni troops in Syria preparing for an offensive, either from the ground or an offensive that would be managed by them in Syria on Israel. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you about is certain attacks that we had from Gaza going to Israel that again debunk the lies that are coming from Israel. Firstly, we had an attack from the Palestinian resistance in Rafah. Netanyahu said that we dismantled the brigade of Hamas in Rafah, and now they are so almost over with their job in Rafah. They're trying to portray it in that manner, although again we had conflicting reports coming from Israel that we spoke about many times, including confirmations from troops on the ground that are in communication with certain figures in the security establishment that are not big fans of Benjamin Netanyahu, criticizing the media talk and saying that they are spinning and lying, and the fact of the matter is they are not seeing who they are fighting, and they are suffering tremendous losses when it comes to Rafah. So the Palestinian resistance in Rafah is still very active, and they are still publishing videos of them targeting Israeli forces in Rafah. We had another attack coming from Gaza, this time from northern Gaza, the area that Israel was supposed to be done with almost 9 months ago. They said that we are done with Gaza, we dismantled everything in the northern part of Gaza, and now we're going to focus or shift our focus to the south. Khan Yunis, and then leading to Rafah. We had 2 missiles being launched at Asqalan or Ashkelon, and Israel admitted that these missiles were launched from Gaza, meaning that the Palestinian resistance is still active in the north and in the south. And this military campaign that Israel has been conducting, this genocide, this destruction for the past 11 months, is not showing any results when it comes to security. Israel's main aim, the declared objective, the main declared objective, is to dismantle Hamas. Clearly, they haven't been able to remotely hurt them when it comes to the capabilities, not only in when it comes to defense in Gaza, the armed resistance defending against the Israeli invasion and aggression, the ground invasion in Gaza, but also against strategic attacks in the depth of Israel that make Israel a place that is not safe, to say the least. These were the 2 things that I also wanted to talk to you about. Then we have the escalation in Lebanon. We had Benjamin Netanyahu saying yesterday that he is looking to expand the operations in Lebanon, but we haven't seen any action coming from Israel that indicates that they are going on this massive ground offensive. Of course, the preparations are there. The preparations have been confirmed. The defense minister said that we already have all of the preparations ready. All of the brigades are ready for a ground invasion, and we're only waiting for a confirmation or an authorization from the political leadership. And now Benjamin Netanyahu gave the political leadership. So did he have this just as a threat, or is he serious about going ahead with an invasion in Lebanon? So far, we're not seeing that. And we're having lots of criticism internally, especially after the failure in intercepting the missile that landed on Israel from Yemen. These were the main things that I wanted to talk to you about in this video. As usual, I hope I added some beneficial information for you, and I will see you soon in the next video. Peace.